In this video, I want to take you through the steps for installing an E-3000 whole house water filter and salt-free softening combo with UV disinfection. Before getting started, open all of your packages and account for all the items needed before starting the installation. First, you'll need to determine the location for the system install. In our example, we'll be using an interior studded wall. Next, you'll want to determine your tie-in point on your main water line. In our example, we have an existing loop. Our water line flows from left to right, so that's how we'll install our system. Next, I'm going to shut off the main water supply to the home and open up the nearest faucet to depressurize. Now I'm going to measure and give myself a mark for the center hole on the bracket, and then I'll find my stud. Next, I'm just going to drill a pilot hole to confirm that my stud finder was correct. Now I can use my bracket as well as a small torpedo level to make marks for the additional 2 holes. Since the bracket holes are 10 inches on center and wall studs are 16 inches on center, I'll have to use 2 mollies to help support the outside holes of the bracket. The ones I'm using are rated at 75 pounds each. Now I can level and screw the bracket to the wall. Next, I'm going to attach the manifold to the bracket utilizing the 12 included bolts. Now, we touched on it earlier that we're installing our system from left to right, meaning the inlet will be on the left hand side, outlet will be on the right hand side. If your installation differs, you can rotate the manifold 180 degrees and put your inlet on the right and your outlet on the left. Next, I'm going to lubricate the 3 O-rings using the included food grade silicone grease and install them in the housings. Now I'm ready to attach the housings to the manifold. Once again, our installation is from left to right, so on the left hand side will be housing 1, in the center will be housing number 2, and on the right hand side or outlet side will be housing number 3. Next, I'll use the wrench to snug each of the housings. Now I'm ready to start installing the UV system. For this installation, I'll be installing the UV system horizontally. Now, it can also be installed vertically to the right or the left, depending on your setup and space. I'll start by marking my center, which I'm going up 4 inches, and then 6 inches out from center each way for my brackets. Next, I'll drill a couple of holes for some drywall anchors. Next, I'll use a small torpedo level to make sure both of the brackets are plumb. Next, I'm going to go ahead and prep the UV chamber for the inlet and outlet fittings. I'll use 5 or 6 wraps of Teflon tape as well as some thread sealant. It's recommended to use a metal connection when tying into the UV chamber. Now I'm ready to snap the chamber into the brackets. Now I am ready to start my plumbing connections. We recommend that all threaded fittings get 5 or 6 wraps of Teflon tape as well as a thread sealant. The thread sealant that we recommend is True Blue, made by RectorSeal. You should be able to find this at any of your big box stores. Now I'm ready to install the fittings to the manifold. With all of my plumbing connections now made, I can snap on the bracket clamps. Next, I can install the UV sleeve, making sure not to touch it with my bare hands. Next, I can install the sleeve O-ring. And now I can install the gland nut. No tools necessary, hand tighten, and it does have a positive stop. Next is to install the spring. At this point, all of my plumbing connections are made and the system is now watertight. I'm now ready to turn the main water supply back on. With a faucet open, I'll allow the system to fill to expel all of the air out of the plumbing system. Once the air is expelled and the water runs smoothly, allow the system to flush for 10 minutes. After flushing the system, I turn the faucet off and allow the system to pressurize. Confirming that there are no leaks, I'm ready to finish the installation. Next, I'll hang the UV controller. Now I'm ready to install the lamp, making sure to only touch the blue ends. Next, I can insert the UV key. and attach the lamp plug. Next, I need to attach the grounding screw. Lastly, I'll plug in the power cord. Once plugged in, the UV controller will now go through its startup process. The entire process takes about 2 minutes. We've sped it up for video purposes. Your system is now ready for use.